In this video I'm going to show you how I made this little skateboard. I did it for a cake not too long ago and it was really easy to do. And it consists of only 8 pieces. And I'm going to show you really quick, hopefully, and easily how to do this. Okay? First thing you do is you take a piece of your brown gum paste, or any color you want really, but skateboards tend to be brown. And you roll it out to about that thick. I don't know if you can see it. Something like this. Okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to cut the ends off. Okay? I'm trying to get most of this done ahead of time so don't waste your time rolling stuff out so much. And then you're going to cut a straight line going this way based on how big you want your board to be. It's totally up to you. You can make it big, you can make it small. It's totally up to your preference. Okay, when I get to the ends, you're just going to take any kind of cutter you have and just kind of half moon it. And go in like that. Okay? And then you're going to do it to the other side as well. Okay, and you're basically just cutting the edges off, the sharp points, and making it round like a skateboard is. Okay, so I did that one. And then always, no matter what you do, always go back and smooth it out with your fingers. There's nothing worse than having rough edges on your stuff, and it looks real tacky. So make sure you just get those pointy edges, rough edges, any of that, and just smooth them down. You can use a smoothing tool if you want. You know, the back of your paintbrush or anything you have. Your finger's just fine. It's very forgiving. It's no problem. Okay, so when you get to the shape you're looking for and the size and you're happy with it, then you're good. And you can see my fingers kind of poking through here. This is how thin this is. Okay, at this point, what I like to do is I take a plate or whatever you have handy, and you can use cookie sticks or paintbrushes, whatever you have, and use the back of them to rest these on, the very edges, because on the skateboard the ends lift up a little bit and the bottom's flat. So just go ahead and shape it how you want on there, and it's going to dry that way, and just leave it alone. Okay, and you put that aside until it dries, probably overnight. Okay, now the next part, what you're going to do is I rolled out the black. Now I did the other skateboard, and my son yelled at me and said that I did it wrong, that on this, the black part covers most of the board. Well, I didn't know because I've never really ridden on a skateboard before. But I'm going to try to listen to him and do it his way. Now this part of the gum paste, the black, I rolled it out super, super thin because you want this to be almost transparent, which is hard to do with black. But you want it to be super, super thin because on the other one I made, it looks more bulky, and you don't want that. So let's try to stick to the same size and shape as we did for the board. Maybe a little less. I don't think it really matters too much, you know, but according to my son it does, and I made a big mistake with it. But that's alright. Okay, so we're just going to do the same thing we did on the other one. Half moon it and just give it the same shape. And we'll do it on the other side. And if there's any doubt, you can always measure it with a string or a tape measure, anything you have handy, or even just hold it up against the other one to see how far off you are, if you need to trim more off. But I'm just going to eyeball it for the sake of the video. And if you have big time things sticking out here, edges, go ahead and trim them off. And then again, go through and pat it down with your finger and smooth the edges off. Okay, and at this point, what I'll do is I'll grab this guy and see how we're lining up here. And I think it's pretty good because you can barely see the brown underneath it. So I think I might trim just a little bit more off, just to make him happy. So when he sees it, he's not freaking out. And I'll trim a little bit more off here. Okay? So we're just going to go around. Okay? So once you get the shape, you're good. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and do it like this. Trim it out. And this part could probably be a little bit more rounded, and that's alright. I'm not going to worry about it. And then what you're going to do is you can definitely glue it together at this point, but if you don't want to and you want to assemble it all at the same time, it's okay just to rest this on here until it's dry and hardened, okay? And then that way it'll take the shape. Because if you let it set flat to dry, then you're not going to be able to rest it on here. It's going to look really weird after. So definitely put it on there so it'll take on the shape.